Yes, students, now I have a very interesting property in front of you about the physical states of matter, that is diffusion. Let's understand this. Actually, diffusion is a phenomenon of intermixing of particles of two or more different substances or matter on their own is called diffusion. How to understand this? See, let us understand diffusion in solids first of all. Solid diffusion, okay? Actually, the diffusion in solid is extremely slow. Let's understand this with a few examples in our day-to-day life. Like, you have seen when a teacher writes on the blackboard, okay, with a chalk, the chalk particles get intermixed with the particles of the board, and we find it difficult to rub the board after a few days. Similarly, this is a book, okay? In this book, if we will not read it, okay, if we will keep it aside in our cupboard, and if we will not read it, after some days the dust will get accumulated in it, okay, and the particles of the solid particles suspended in the air will settle down on this book, and they will get intermixed with the particles of the book, okay, and it will become difficult to remove the dust from this book. This was one more example of solid diffusion. Let's understand this in a much elaborative manner, in a much figurative manner. See, there are two blocks, okay. I have colored this with blue pen and this with red pen. Means this is the particles of B block and these are the particles of A block. See, the particles of the A block, which are blue in color, are getting intermixed with the particles of the B block. See, you can see here, okay, and after some days, after some months also, we can say both the blocks will get fixed or attached with each other, okay, and these particles will occupy the spaces in the particles of the A block, and the A particles, metal block particles of A will occupy the spaces in the B block. समझ रहे हैं हमारे बेटा बात? ठीक है. So in this way, this is known as solid diffusion. Now let us understand diffusion in liquids. See, I told you just now that diffusion in solid is slightly slower. Why? Because you can see here that in solids, the particles, the molecules, which we call molecules, are tightly packed, and the spaces are also slightly less, and the molecules of the solid have very low kinetic energy. That is why they can't intermix very fast, okay. But in the case of liquids, we know very well that the molecules of liquid have much more intermolecular spaces, and they are not tightly packed, and the intermolecular force of attraction is slightly weak as compared to solids, and the kinetic energy is slightly higher, okay. So that is why the diffusion in liquids is faster than in solids. And let's understand this with a example, okay. I will explain this in the next class. Thank you.